Good morning, good afternoon or good evening as the case may be. What I'm going to talk about today is how to punch correctly. What do you need to be able to do to punch correctly? The most important thing that you need is to be relaxed, okay? And there's certain pieces of equipment that can help you to relax, okay, when you're not punching. So, hand grippers are really good for learning you to relax and punch correctly. Now, when we punch, we do it with a closed fist, okay? So when we make contact with that punch, it has to be closed quickly and properly. So to strengthen our fingers, we use the grippers, and it also strengthens the forearm. So what we would do is use the mirror, which is in front of me here, and the hand grippers. This is the first exercise that I would teach anybody about boxing, because you need to be relaxed, okay? And your hands need to always come back in this position, okay? To guard the most vulnerable part of you, your chin, okay? Because the target area in boxing is your head and your body, okay? So we need to come back here. So when we're standing there, we're here and our hands are open, because that helps us to relax. As soon as we fire the punch out, we squeeze the gripper. And in doing so, what we do, we tense all the muscles that are involved. So what we do, we fire one out and we squeeze the gripper, okay? And automatically you tense all the muscles that are involved. Your hand muscles, your forearm muscles, and your shoulder muscles mainly, okay? And what we're going to do is, to begin with, we can do 10 movements on one hand, yeah? So we squeeze and out we go. The reason we're using the mirror is this. My reflection is there, so I'm going to aim for my own chin in the mirror. And there we go. Okay? Now, if we want to use the mirror effectively, what we can also do is imagine our opponent is thrown a jab at us. So we can duck and still throw a punch, but that's to the body, okay? We come back up and we can throw another punch to his head. And if we want to practice, we can go, and this is the great thing about using the grippers, because it keeps you relaxed until the moment of contact, okay? So the mirror's there, and I'm going to go single jab to the head, and I can do 10 reps. And if I wanted to, I could also, the 1-2 is an important thing in boxing. So we could do it with the right hand as well, okay? But we're just going to practice with the left hand, okay? So the right hand goes out the window for the minute, and we're just going to practice, because I think you should know how to use your jab before any other punch, okay? So we're going to go one to the chin, bam, squeeze the gripper, bring it back, and let it open your hand, okay? So we're working with apparatus that can help us punch. and help us to relax as well. Okay? So bam, 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 and you just think squeeze, 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 squeeze. Now you can do that for 10 reps or you can do that for 30 seconds. Okay? Then what you can practice is a double jab. So that's 1, 2. Okay? But then you can practice ducking. So you go 1, 2. Okay? And it doesn't have to be quick to start with. Trying to talk to you and trying to do it are two different things. But it should be 1 to the head, 1 to the body. Up you come. Slowly you will get better at the technique. And this will help the speed of your jab. The next exercise I'm going to look at is, so that's spring resistance that we're using. Now what we move to, put them back up there, is a resistance band. And we can set this at shoulder height. Now remember how the punch goes out, because what we want to do is put our palm down, face our palm to the floor, and we stand in orthodox stance if we're an orthodox boxer, or we stand in southpaw stance. Okay, so what we're going to do, this hand always guarding, and we're not going to get it right up to guard position. We don't want to do that. What we want to do is pull it in to work the muscles that pull us in. Okay, and they're the lats, the bicep, the forearms, and the rear shoulders. But remember, when the band pulls us back, yeah, into this position, we want it speedy. So we're working on hand speed here. Okay, so what we're going to do is go pull back, and our palm faces in, as if we can get it up to the chin, but we can't. So we're going to go there and then let it extend quickly. And this way is safe. Okay, nice and safe. So when we're pulling in, yeah, the higher we go, the better it is, but you never punch somebody like that. So we can we're in our fight, we're in our proper stance, left stance forward, and we bring it down. Okay, and we're really working the lat muscles and the biceps. But remember to turn the palm down and turn it to face you. Okay, so palm is facing you now, palm is turned down. Okay, so we're palm down, palm facing you. Okay, and it's pulling you into the correct position. Now, if we want to use it again, in another exercise, we put it low. And the way we do it is, again, get into the stance that is yours, orthodox or southpaw, and you need to grip from above and give yourself a slight angle so the band doesn't rub against your body. What this is going to do, it's going to work the triceps really well, and it's going to work the shoulders really well. Okay, so we get into our stance, and we're only worried about arm movement. We're not worried about anything else. Okay, we're not worried about the whole technique. We're just using the arm to give the arm a lot of strength. Once we get into the whole idea of getting the whole body against your punch, your arm's going to be strong anyway. So if you can hit somebody with just arm strength, and that can do the business as well. But once you connect all the techniques that you need to throw a perfect punch, your arms are going to be able to deliver as well. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to push out, and remember, our palm faces you, okay, and then it faces the floor. Okay, so we can really pump this out pretty quick because we don't have any weight in our hand, so it's not going to injure the elbow. Okay, and then it's going to come back quick. So again, we're working on that speed of hand, but remember to rotate. Rotate the palm down. Rotate the palm down. Get into your stance. Rotate it down. Rotate it down. Rotate it down. Okay? So, with the band, we're working the tricep and the shoulder and the chest area, and we're working that rotation safely when we push the punch out quickly. When we pull it back, we're working the return muscles. Okay, we're still working on the rotation of the hand. We're working the bicep when we return, the shoulders as we return, the more rear shoulders, and the lats. Okay, but we must remember to rotate, and that's a quick exercise. Okay, and that's what we're interested in. Our hand grips are learning us to be relaxed and getting us quicker, but without any resistance. Once we start coming to resistance, and this is the one that you need to be very careful with, because if you go too quick in the movement, you've got a 99.9% of damaging your elbow and your lower back if you go too heavy. My job is to tell you, do not go over 3 kilos in weight. And when we want to use muscle effectively, we go slower. So when we're using the resistance bands, we're speeding everything up a bit. When we're using the hand grippers, we're going at top speed. So, hand grippers, we go at top speed in the mirror. Resistance band, we still go quick, yeah? But once we come to using dumbbells, we want it nice and controlled, okay? And just bam, bam. And again, just use the arms to begin with, and then once we get into it, we can bring in the rotations, okay? And we can bring the whole technique together. Your punches will get quicker, your arms and shoulders will get stronger, and once you bring the pivoting of the foot and the twisting of the hip and the extension that is needed to rotate at the waist, your punches are going to be like you're hitting someone with a piece of concrete. Yeah? That's what I'm trying to teach you. So, what do? We do it exactly the same. Get into the orthodox stance if you're orthodox or southpaw, and what we're going to do, nice and steady. This is a steady pace that we're going to do, but we're still going to concentrate on when we throw this hand out, we do not do it at speed. We concentrate on rotating and bringing it back and doing it nice and steady, but always my opponent is me in the mirror, so I'm punching to my chin. Okay, punch, and just use your arms and shoulders to do this. Okay, once you get up to 3 kilos, that's plenty, because you can make it you can do this in such a way that you can use repetitions, or you can do it for time. Okay, and they're the key aspects that you need to do. So an example, you can start with 10 reps and go, oh, 10 reps, that's easy. Then move on to 15 reps, then move on to 20. Boxing is repetitive, okay? Really repetitive, and you could almost get bored with boxing if you didn't like it and you didn't enjoy it. But what a lot of youngsters tend to do is go, I want to get in the ring. Well, learn how to punch before you can get in the ring. Learn how to use your jab before you can get in the ring. Because if you can't jab, you ain't keeping nobody away from you. They're just going to come at you, and if you ain't got any punches to offer, like a single jab to keep them at bay, then you're going to get floored, okay? Then you've got to work on your other punches. Your other punches is a right cross, because there's two punches that are really fundamental in boxing, and they're your jab and your cross. They're the ones that you've got to learn, okay? The single jab, okay, to the head, you've got to learn that. The single jab to the body, you've got to learn that. And then you've got to learn how to double it up. Double up the jab to the head, double up to the body, or you can mix it. Go one to the head, one to the body, one to the body, one to the head. Whichever you want to do on a double jab. So there's many different options on your jab. And then you've got different angles that you can throw the jab at. Okay? So if you go, you're here, and you go jab, and your opponent moves to your left, you bring that jab back and jab. Okay, so it's jab, jab, and you just work your way round the clock, or work your way around the angles, whichever you want to call it. Some people call it you're working the clock, some people say you're working the angles. A straight punch will always beat a hook. That's what you got to remember, okay? Because if somebody moves into the hook position and I know how to do an angled jab, I can go back and jab him, okay? And that's what we're looking at, effective punching. Right guys, I'm going to call it a day there. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to, and if you want to see any more videos like this, feel free to comment and say, Les, yeah, that was an enjoyable video. Can you show me what else to do to improve punches or whatever? You know, ask me the questions and I will give you my experience. And don't worry, it's free of charge. You know, I'm just enjoying myself. So, take care guys, good night and God bless.